Quest.
The Adventure Game Podcast?
Yeah, I've been doing like really high energy, openings, and so I thought maybe I'll mix it up.
We've been getting a lot of feedback. Like it starts big and really tapers off quickly. So
we
I feel
don't
like
get any feedback at all.
Okay, that's also true.
We don't.
We're just podcasting into the void.
A nice half dozen of people kindly discuss it on our Discord every Tuesday morning, which is always nice to see. If you're part of that half dozen on the Discord, if you're
the dirty half
HDD, I salute you, and I want you to know I am standing up and saluting. And saluting will be a large part of discussion of today, but I don't want to get too far ahead.
No, that would be wrong.
Yeah. This is Quest, the Adventure Game Podcast. I'm Ben.
And I am Jess.
I Twitch stream as PS_Garrick.
And I'm Decaf Jedi.
Yeah, we're also both on YouTube under those respective names. And this week, we have a guest, but don't get excited.
Yeah. You notice Ben didn't say special guest. It was, just like guest.
You know when you see a movie, and for some reason, when you're watching the movie, in the credits, it will say, and special guest, and we'll have a name. You'll be like, what do you mean special guest? It's a movie. Movies can't have special guests.
It's just someone you invite to the set.
Movie.
It's like we just invited this person to the set, and then we got a few scenes with them,
This guy, we found this guy. He was eating sandwiches. And we pointed the cameras at him. Anyway, so we have a guest this week. His name is Grayson. Hello, Grayson.
Hello, it's me. I'm here on the podcast.
Grayson streams on Adventure Tuesday with us, and also he made a game which we'll discuss as part of today's podcast. But what that game was, I'll keep under my hat.
Wow,
that's right.
I didn't know you had a hat, Ben.
Yeah, well, I do.
A big 10-gallon hat.
It's a 10-gallon hat, but don't actually measure that. Don't try to
pour milk in it.
Yeah,
don't pour milk in his hat, people. You don't do that to a Texan.
What? Anyway, Grayson, how are you doing today? Good to hear.
I'm doing good. It's an honor to get to sing the theme song as your guest always does. And you know what? It's nice because normally, Ben, I'm more of a sidekick to you on our stream. A real lowly, sort of pathetic role, and I feel like as a guest, my status is heightened a little bit.
No, it's not.
Yeah, this is huge. Now you have a chance to be a sidekick to me.
Oh, okay. Oh, so are you in charge of this podcast, Jess?
No, he's not.
Well, I mean, it depends on who you ask.
No.
Well, I think I know who I should ask. Well, we'll talk later, Jess.
All right.
Grayson, I brought you on this podcast because we brought you up, and by we, I mean me, brought you up 2 episodes ago.
Wow.
Because I said you were my Wikipedia man.
That's true. Every guy needs to know a Wikipedia man.
You need that person to win arguments. Yeah.
And in that, I said I'd take this edit, this necessary Wikipedia edit, and send it to my Wikipedia man. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for Jawbreaker film, Jawbreaker parentheses film, and at the bottom of the first section here, it does not have a citation needed after it says, while it was a critical and commercial failure at the time of its release, it has come to gain a cult following. But there's no citation on that. That needs a citation needed. And you know how I am. I don't.
You stop there. You're done. You close the tab.
Yeah, no.
I point at Wikipedia and say this needs to be changed, and then I call up my Wikipedia man. Boop boop boop, and that's you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, show me one ritual sacrifice inspired by the movie Jawbreaker, and I'll believe it's a cult film.
Here's the thing, Ben. With all due respect, I think there are citations for it. There is down in the reception. There are multiple citations supporting that it's come to gain a cult following.
Yeah, so but it needs to have that for that claim up there.
I have a reputation to uphold. I can't be throwing citation. If you want to throw your IP address in the Wikipedia garbage,
right. This is interesting. Okay.
Okay.
So despite the negative, okay, so under legacy, this is
legacy.
interesting.
It has a legacy.
Under legacy,
section?
this is a pretty long Wikipedia page.
Yeah, well
Under
referenced.
legacy says despite the negative feedback again, uncreative writing, but I'll let that one slide. Jawbreaker found success through home video release and subsequent television airings, semicolon. It has developed a cult following. Once again, not cited. Vice magazine called the film a teen classic when it published a retrospective 2016 titled Perverting the Youth of America, the oral history of the teen classic Jawbreaker. There's a citation on that.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't call it a cult classic. I mean, I guess I'll have to read that whole Vice piece.
Yeah, you would if you were a real editor.
But there's nothing, I'm seeing that it was later it was called a teen classic by Vice, which I don't stand with what Vice does. And
so is this a podcast where you audit reference lists on Wikipedia pages?
Yes, and it also on the I will say on the Vice article they refer to it as a cult classic.
Okay,
at some level, it's also a podcast where we audit friendships.
Okay,
and I feel like if Ben asked you to do this as a friend, really, it's not your position to really try to split hairs about what is and isn't a cult film. You just do it for your friend Ben.
Are you auditing?
Do it for the old Benji.
Are you auditing as an accountant, or is this like a Scientology audit where this is going to be a whole? Okay. Oh wow.
All right. Well, Grayson, that is the type of comment that a guy that's pretty high in thetans would make.
Yeah. Well, my thetans are overflowing.
Listen, we're talking on webcams, and I just see thetans crawling all over you.
Yeah.
They're crawling on your face.
Mm-hmm.
They're crawling on your shoulders.
It feels
I see on his neck.
Me. Yeah.
His Dianetics.
Yeah.
Is that a joke? Is that a joke?
Dianetics.
Yeah,
I think it's a joke.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for recognizing it as a joke.
I'm trying to butter up the real leader of this podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for recognizing.
Grayson told me that he was going to try to work any angle that he could find when he said he would be on this podcast. And I didn't know what he was saying, but
I see in Jess a soft target, real mark. So I'm going to try and work that angle.
Yeah, if you just say one or two nice things about me, you've got me in the palm of your hand. It does not take much.
Well,
Ben, let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
What have you been playing?
Why, Jess.
You see how naturally we flowed into that, Grayson?
Yeah.
Maybe
I can see why you're in charge of this.
Maybe you could take some note. Maybe you could take a note on that for your own fucking podcast, if you have one. Jess, I've been playing Geometry Wars 3, Dimensions Evolved.
Wow. Is that a Sierra game?
It's a Sierra game. It is from a second where they revived the Sierra brand, for some reason. Acclaim is being revived by some guy that was like, Acclaim! It's back! And that guy got much acclaim for that.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty good too. So now I'm
That's
playing
not
both
bad.
sides.
Yeah, pretty good. Anyway, Geometry Wars 3 is a good game.
Well, there you have it.
I don't know what to tell you.
Does it have shapes and stuff?
It's got all the shapes.
Angles?
It's got shapes. It's got angles. It only takes up 135 megabytes on my hard disk.
That's like 10 megabytes per shape. That's not, that's small.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, listen, Geometry Wars, the exciting twin stick shooter that made everybody into Xbox Live Arcade. Geometry Wars 3, they had there's a bunch of levels in it, and you could get power up. Kind of fun, right? I have a good time playing it.
Yeah, no one's.
It kind of works on my Steam Deck. Sometimes it crashes, but most of the time it works.
That sounds deck verified to me.
It's deck enough.
Deck enough for government work.
Yeah, especially these days. Am I right, folks?
Those bozos on Capitol Hill.
Those bozos. The other day I thought I was watching Cartoon Network, but it turned out it was CNN. I thought I was watching Comedy Central. It was C-SPAN.
I thought I was watching an old clip of the 435 Stooges, but it turns out it was just the congressional live stream.
Okay.
I thought I thought I was watching Charlie Chaplin do that thing with the potatoes, with the forks, the potatoes at the end of the fork.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Johnny Depp thing, yeah.
It's a little dance.
Was that a Chaplin thing?
Yeah, he did that in Gold Rush.
Oh.
But
right.
I thought I was watching that, and it turns out that I was watching a Facebook Live from my senator.
Can I do one as a guest? Can I do one of these?
Listen, this is an open door.
Okay. Yeah. So this is going to be a bad joke because I don't remember which of two TV stations had this motto. But was I watching either USA or TNT? Because this looks like characters were welcome on my screen.
TNT, you did it.
Okay, TNT, perfect.
Close enough. All right, do we have any more? Anything else?
I think case closed.
Case closed. We did it, team. All right. Grayson, what have you been playing? Don't make up anything.
Okay, well, up to you whether you'll believe this.
We live by strict code here.
Made that up. That's not a real game.
Geometry Wars 3. There were 1 and 2, as far as I'm concerned. I've been playing one of the smash hits of 2024, The Dungeons of Hinterberg, which is a kind of Zelda-like, where you go into dungeons in a place called Hinterberg, and you fight monsters, and you get treasure, and you level up your guy. It's pretty good.
I watched you, play that a little bit the other day, and it also had some Persona aesthetic.
Yeah, there's a kind of, you can't just make a Zelda-like anymore. It has to have a kind of elaborate.
You used to be able to make one.
Yeah,
you just make one.
You play as a character who is a tourist in Hinterberg, and Hinterberg draws tourists who like to slay monsters, and so it is also a game about the ethical responsibilities of visiting a place as a tourist. And so you make friends and do all that sort of stuff.
So it's trying to make me feel bad about something I do for fun?
Yeah. Like any good video game, it makes you do something fun, and then it says, but what if what you thought was fun was bad?
Yeah.
No, it's actually quite good. I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah, no, it looked really cool. It looked like a lot of fun. It was it's cell shaded, right?
Yeah, it has a kind of comic booky sort of halftone look to it. I think it looks quite handsome. I believe it was sponsored at least in part by the German government.
Whoa! Congratulations. Good
Germany.
job, the German government. I thought I was watching Sprockets.
Yeah.
And it turned out that I was watching the German Parliament ?
Yeah, you were watching Deutsche TV.
All right, Jess, what have you been playing?
Since our last record, I haven't been playing much. I've been doing a lot of writhing and agony, some light crying, some things like that.
Why is that?
I've been going through, Ben, and I've kept this secret from everyone. I've been going through some dental issues, and today I went to a lovely dentist who has fixed all my issues, has made me whole again. Now, I will say, astute listeners may notice that my tooth acoustics are slightly off tonight. I am working with a new front tooth. So if things sound off,
break that bad boy in.
Breaking it in, kind of like learning to work the tongue around it a little bit, just sort of making it work. But I think give me 6 to 8 weeks and I'm going to sound just like the old Jess.
That's what I hope. Otherwise, I will have to replace you, which is why.
Is that why Grayson is here?
Yeah.
Oh man, shit. Shit. But no, what little bit I have been playing today as part of the Steam sale, I bought AEW Fight Forever Wrestling, which is a wrestling game for a wrestling federation that I do not follow nor know anything about. But it got released cheap on the Steam sale, so I decided I would buy it. And it promises some degree of like classic N64 era style wrestling games. And I don't know how familiar you are with the wrestling game subgenre. Grayson, I know you're familiar with all genres of games.
Well, I think like a lot of kids who had a Nintendo 64, you just wound up with a bunch of those wrestling games.
Yeah,
This is $4.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know that
mostly negative.
I don't know that anybody has improved upon that formula. I don't play a lot of wrestling games these days, but it really seems like everyone's just do it. Like you got it, you did it, you figured
that
it out.
That is the widely agreed upon consensus that like the N64 era No Mercy game, NWO versus WCW Revenge, those sorts of things. That was the high water mark, and that's what this game's going for. It doesn't quite get there because those games have a strange magic to them that makes them feel way better than any game like that should. But I mean, hey, at $3 or $4.99 or whatever I paid for it, that's the sweet spot. I don't need to get a lot of entertainment out of that to be happy with my purchase.
All right, well, you heard it here first. He's happy enough, as we all should be.
Precisely, happy enough.
So we talked about the clowns in Congress. We talked about what we're playing. So let's talk about something dramatic.
I know that.
Wow.
Let's talk about what we're here to talk about this week. We're here to talk about Codename Iceman.
Codename Iceman.
A game both of you have streamed.
A game both of us have streamed.
And one of us has completed.
I completed it, so I don't know.
I mean, everything but the last part.
I completed it. I rolled credits on Codename Iceman.
You any percented it, yes.
Yeah, that is a complete.
I mean, I guess I just played all the game and completed it. I completed the. Oh man, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's really good. I mean, I played the Jeep chase at the end and successfully completed it in like 3 tries, and you gave up after many more than that. But we both played most of the game on average.
Grayson, have you ever actually played Codename Iceman, or just sat in the sidecar as Jess and I have played?
I have never personally piloted that game. I have just been present while 2 people who I stream with have played it.
So Jess, could you tell a plot of Codename Iceman?
Can you bring your expertise to bear on this?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, as a professor who studies foreign affairs and such, Codename Iceman, this is, of course, the 1990 Sierra adventure game designed by the one and only Sir Jim Walls. The story here is that it's in the near future. It's set in the near future.
What year?
What year was it? Does it tell us?
I think it's like 2007 or something, right? Like, isn't it?
Something in the game, because we had a good laugh about this. Something in the game states it's set in the 22nd century. Whether that's a typo, I don't know, because that seems implausible, even by the standards of that game.
That would be upsetting. No, but yeah, it's some point in the indeterminate future. There's a global oil shortage. Tunisia is discovered to somehow suddenly possess oil, which really isn't how oil works, or how Tunisia works, or how much of that sort of stuff works. But now that they can, the Soviet Union, which has not collapsed, and the United States are both trying to get as
the
much
United
of that oil
States,
as they
which also hadn't collapsed at this point.
That's right. This is when both of those superpowers were still going concerns. Anyway, I think some terrorists backed by the Soviet Union kidnap an ambassador. You're naval officer Johnny Westland, and you're sent to defuse this tense global situation. And how would they insert you into this situation? The only way possible, aboard a submarine. The most subtle way to handle a diplomatic crisis.
Yeah. And so Jess just delivered a whole lot of plot, which you're just like, oh, okay. Is there like intrigue? Is there, yeah, like, is there a lot of like stuff about like, oh, do you go to do you negotiate with the like Tunisian ambassador or something? Like, is there some sort of like James Bond-esque like antics? And the answer
is this
to
Tom Clancy come to life here? Is this like
yeah. And the answer to that question is no. No. Grayson, what is most of the game?
It's pretty resounding, no. Most of the game is an elaborate submarine simulator where you sit down in the seat and you're thrown into kind of a first-person view of the command center of the submarine, and you just see a lot of levers, a lot of physical buttons. I mean, if you're somebody who hates, the modern touchscreen trend,
wait until the 22nd century.
Yeah, wait until the 22nd century. They're going to bring
knobs are going to be back. Knobs are back in a huge way.
Manual submarine controls will be back. But in addition, you only ever see abstract representations of the things you're doing in that submarine. So you are doing things that, like, in principle are exciting, like firing missiles and navigating. I think at some point you navigate like tornadoes or typhoons or something. Like
there's a part where you navigate through typhoons or something. Like you see spirals.
Icebergs.
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 The fact that we can't remember it really doesn't matter, because they appear within the game in a screen within a screen as little tiny icons, and most of it is just kind of manipulating levers and dials.
Which the game comes with if you're lucky enough to have the box, which Jess does. Jess owns a copy of Codename Iceman. Jess, have you ever actually opened up that box?
Yeah.
Does it have everything in it?
It has everything in it. I have the manual.
All right, let's pull that down. Let's see if the manual has the year.
Okay, that's a good point. Let's see here. Just a moment.
All right. So, Grayson, what are you up to? What are you up to tonight?
I was.
Here we go. Scooting my chair back over.
All right, never mind.
Okay, never mind.
What was it? What'd you say? I had my headphones off. Did I miss something?
I was talking to Ben about
what he was up to.
Yeah, Ben was talking about, he didn't think you were coming back to the podcast, Jess. Oh, you have a bone floppy?
Jess is holding up a disc that says, and it's a 5 1/4.
It's a big one.
This is someone's save.
It's a real floppy disk.
And it says bonus. That's someone's save files?
That's someone's save files. Which is pretty exciting.
Backed up.
Yeah.
Codename Iceman save files?
I would be genuinely interested to see where and when people saved in that game.
Jess is also, he has in front of him, he held up to the camera, the confidential manual to the USS Blackhawk, which is the submarine that you pilot in the game.
The very first rule in the technical manual on how to pilot this is the boarding protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Salute flag, salute officer of the deck, present orders. Let's see here. Do I have is that the only manual there is?
Because I recall looking through like GOG's, like where I bought it. I thought it had a reference card. Maybe it was within it that is kind of a key to all of like the levers and knobs. And
that is in here. Okay. And I'm looking at it right now, and it doesn't tell me the year anywhere that I can tell, but let me tell you, the key to how to operate the submarine.
Yeah.
It's like an illustration of the cockpit. There are 33 points of interest on the diagram. Like literally the dive plane indicators, the throttle speed indicators, the multi-purpose view screen, the heading indicator, the bow plane indicator, the latitude indicator, the compass, the hatch indicator, the emergency ballast control, rudder indicator, fire control panel
The
activate,
emergency
torpedo
ballast
to
control.
flood. Yeah, no, I mean, longitude indicator, stern plane indicator. It's water temperature, in case you're curious if it'd be a good time to go out for a swim. This is so complex.
Water
the other thing, I think the other
temperature
thing
ever factors in.
Yeah, I was about to say the thing. I think if you've played this game, which of course is notoriously obtuse and weird, is you might look at that and be like, oh, okay, maybe this isn't a thrilling spy thing, but like, oh, maybe it's a really cool, crunchy simulator.
Yeah.
It is not that either.
No.
Yeah,
it is none of the above.
The simulator segment, first off, so it's entirely in like SCI Sierra, so it's just in the adventure game like stuff. It's not like you're playing like, I don't know, Aces of the Deep or what was like the what was the popular network death like submarine game?
Ooh, I don't know.
Like of the like late 80s, early 90s. I seem to recall there was something. It's not that.
Isn't there something like a number
yeah,
sub or something like that?
Anyway, but it's not like that at all. You're not playing Red Baron. Like it is. No. They put this really clunky, overly complicated submarine simulator in an adventure game engine, and if you draw outside of the lines of how it wants you to pilot this submarine, even a smidge, you die immediately. Like you get maybe one warning. Like sometimes you'll see a little chat box where the guy's going, no, increase depth. But usually by the time that you get that message, it is too late.
Sierra must have blown through their death screen budget on this one, because has anybody ever measured the Sierra games by unique numbers of death messages? Because Codename Iceman has to be up there. There's so many ways for you to screw up and die.
I feel like by putting this out in the universe, we could make this happen. Like the question of which game has the most unique death messages, I feel like some of our dear friends could answer this for us.
Yeah, that seems, because every Sierra game has been like played to death and then like taken apart, and you know, people have really, really taken apart like every single Sierra game in every single way that you can possible. So if there's someone that said, oh yeah, all I have to do is put it into SCI Companion and push like these 3 buttons and then it tells me how many variables there are under death, and it's like there's 500, and then it maxes out. Like if it had one more type of death, it would crash the entire game.
Which is a possibility as well. I mean, what are the Police Quest games? You can get too many points, doesn't it? Like roll over, like you can get more than 256.
I don't know. Police Quest 3 is super buggy.
Yeah.
But let's listen. I know that we're very excited to talk about the entire eve of Jim Walls.
That is true. Yes.
Yes.
And maybe we'll bring you back for those. Maybe you're our Jim Walls correspondent.
Yes. I mean,
so
you have a case to be.
I think I've got to be in a top percentile of human beings just in terms of time spent thinking about Jim Walls.
It's you, his wife, and any other family members.
His wife.
His wife.
Kim Walls.
Well, that would be a great couple of guests to have on a podcast. I'll come with Jim Walls' wife.
Yeah. And then and you'll play newlywed game quizzes about him. and you'll get the answers. So okay. But the way that this fits in, so it's like Jim Walls made 4 games, at Sierra.
Mm-hmm.
3 of those games were police quests. One of them was Codename Iceman. Jim Walls was a retired police officer, so he was mostly kind of, just going with what you know.
Yeah.
With Police Quest. But something a little like, he decided to take a different tack with Codename Iceman. But the thing is that Codename Iceman kind of fits within the Jim Walls design ethos. Which
once you start playing it, you start to however surprising it might seem, kind of just looking at the boxes. Once you start playing Codename Iceman, you're like, oh no, Jim made this.
If anything, it sheds more light on what makes a Jim Walls game, aside from just the police questiness of it. I think it brings into sharper focus the things about police quests that just aren't the theme of you're doing police work, right? I mean, it really highlights all the other elements of just the proceduralism to a fault of the, I would argue somewhat conservative worldview. That seems to creep through.
Somewhat. I think you could pretty squarely refer to Police Quest 1 to 3 and then Codename Iceman as, you could confidently state they have a conservative worldview.
Yes.
The conservatives are getting better at game design. And
lefties are getting worried.
But the thing, like beyond its general kind of worldview and point of view, and by the way, I hate it when people put politics in my games. To be clear, I hate it. That's why I hate all politics. I only play games for fun and not to think.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I only play apolitical games like Qbert, Police Quests 1 to 3, and Geometry Wars 3.
And Adam's Family Pinball. I only play non-political games. Codename Iceman, Pac-Man 2, the New Adventure, and Mappy.
Oh, Mappy. That's just upsetting. That's not even. I can't even laugh. It's just upsetting to think about Mappy.
Yeah, wow. Because they made the Mappy 2 got very political.
It was weird how
political. I couldn't play it anymore.
Yeah,
I was like, no, Namco, you ruined it with your politics.
Assassinating world leaders, not my Mappy.
Anyway, but outside of the general point of view, Jim Walls games tend to have this, I could only call it this extreme literalism, this that everything is exactly as it is.
Yes.
Does that
you type "look at door" and the response is "it's a door." That level of literalism sometimes.
This is, and that's what makes his games kind of rise to a level of some kind of art. Because I don't know,
I mean, one of the first puzzles, or one of the first puzzles when you're boarding the submarine is Codename Iceman, famously so, is you have to go for maximum points. You have to go through the proper boarding protocol in order. And again, and it's not really presented as this big patriotic thing. It's not presented. It's certainly not ironic, right? And so, and it's just Jim wants you to read this book included with the box that includes proper boarding protocols, and he wants you to demonstrate those in the video game. That's it. There's no meaning attached to any of that.
And it's also, you can get through the game without doing that, so it's not even copyright, or copy protection.
Yes.
No.
And what I was trying to get to is Jim has defeated Rene Magritte, saying Nespon Peep, like Jim would look at that painting of a pipe and say, "It's a pipe."
It's a pipe.
And then
And he's
the
not
French
wrong.
wouldn't know
He's
what
not
to
wrong.
do.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think Grayson, you hit on it perfectly. What makes, I think, Jim Wall's games oddly rise to the level of art is the complete lack of irony, which is so rare in adventure games. Even adventure games that aren't setting out to be comedies, I think can't help but have some level of ironic detachment. And everything, yeah, it is operating on exactly one level. And it's such a beautiful, consistent level.
It's a real just flat plateau of game design. Just
yes.
And you're just cruising along with Jim.
The there's ambition, and the ambition is it's just like so you're piloting the submarine, and it's not thinking about what would be fun about being a submarine pilot. It's about how would you exactly be a submarine pilot?
Which button would you press? And where is it located?
Yeah, and if you deviate from the correct way to be a submarine pilot, you die immediately.
I would say even in an early scene where he sleeps with someone later revealed to be a spy.
This is a spoiler cast. Sorry to anyone that
was listening to this to decide if they wanted to play Codename Iceman.
In its own way, is very procedural, where it's like you go to a bar, you sit down with the woman, you buy her a drink, you offer to dance, you go home with her, you have sex, my. A really. And then it's
Grayson, I don't understand your criticism here. What's wrong with that?
People have said this about the construction of sex scenes and stuff like that, but there is no more workmanlike way sex scene construction I have ever seen in anything.
No. It feels like it was written by someone who had only written health class textbooks.
Yes, it's very the gym teacher is teaching health class vibes.
Well, Jim Wallace has major gym teacher energy anyway. Put a whistle around that guy's neck and it would look like he was born with it. But I mean, let's talk about this first part of the game though, because to me, I think this is the true cruelty of Codename Iceman.
This is the most fun part.
It starts out kind of charming, right? You're in Tahiti. The scenes look nice. Everything's very tropical. You have some lovely ladies.
It hits you. We'll have to. All right, fine. On the lovely ladies, you could type "look woman" at a couple of the women, and you get Leisure Suit Larry level close-ups.
There's big pixel art to this part of the game, right?
Sexy close-ups of these women that are and this isn't even me being a prude or anything. They have absolutely no purpose, to the point where that you could miss most of them. They're just there. You have to actively be I wonder what that sexy lady looks like. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's a dance scene, apparently one that was coded at a level of great complexity, right? From what I understand, this is actually a simulated dance.
It's a very strange
algorithm.
I've heard this. I don't know. I think that might be in Sean Mills' book.
I believe so.
Which I need to read.
It has bespoke sprites. There's bigger sprites for the dancing scene. It has its own custom sprite work.
And also, Johnny Westlake has remarkably shapely thighs.
He's a muscular man.
Look at this. Man, he does. And those are some short shorts.
Yeah, he's wearing short shorts that really show off.
Different time. Men used to not be afraid of showing their
juicy thighs.
She's wearing a mini skirt dress type thing, and his shorts are several inches shorter than her.
Yeah, you could see why she was into him. Why it just took that one little adventure on the dance floor. There's one thing that we haven't touched on, which is in this Tahiti sequence. one of the first things that happens is that one of the people enjoying themselves on the beach has to receive CPR, which once again, like as Grayson said about like the boarding the submarine procedure, you have to type in exactly. And Jess, could you check the manual to see if you could find this, because I believe it's in the manual.
Let's see.
I believe this is a kind of copy protection,
and this is like, I think you do have to do this.
Yeah.
And I think it's like
watch a woman drown.
Yeah, it's like 6 full, like it is very, very thorough instructions on how to do CPR, which, I mean, I guess there are worse things to put in a game.
Yeah. It's so thorough though that like you can't, even if you know how to do CPR, you're not going to bypass this copy protection because you have to do things in such a specific order and step-by-step process.
Okay, let's see here. I've got it.
All right, please.
Listeners, please take this as medical advice.
And also be sure, if you're going to use this in the game, make sure that you paid for it completely. We are not giving away Sierra's copy protection.
So here we go. Lay victim on back. Shake and shout to establish responsiveness. Call for help. Establish the airway. Look, listen, and feel. Give 2 good breaths. Repeat step 5. Look, listen, and feel. Check pulse for 5 to 10 seconds. Then begin compressions. So yeah, there you go. That is as simple as it gets. And you have to type each of those commands in. Can I tell you the craziest thing about this, though? I'm looking at this manual now. Before it gets around to explaining to you how to do CPR, it has a section distinguishing between clinical death and biological death. And it goes, like, clinical death is when your heartbeat and breathing have stopped. This is known as a near or apparent death, and it may be averted or reversed. Sudden death is sudden. Unexpected clinical death. Biological death is permanent brain death due to lack of oxygen, on the other hand. So if you're curious whether someone is clinically dead or biologically dead, the Codename Iceman USS Blackhawk Technical Manual is where you go get those answers. Now, philosophically, spiritually, emotionally, all those sorts of deaths are not covered.
If you're wondering whether someone is suddenly dead, I think it will probably be self-evident.
What about Le Petit Mort?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what gets covered in the Tahiti segment.
Yeah. So, about like, let's say about a third of the way into the game, there is another great sequence after you do your first, like, kind of tutorial type section of piloting the submarine, and you're like, all right, this piloting stuff, everyone said this is pretty hard, but it's not too bad. It's hard, but it's not horrible. It's horrible, but like you can get over it. And then
it's not like all-time bad horrible at that stage.
But then you have a little free time, and so you go down into the mess hall, and you play dice with an old salt.
Who has like a Irish or Scottish sort of brogue. Like he has a sort of affectation that comes and goes.
Yeah. He sounds like a sailor, I think, at the very least, whether that's Irish or Scottish. I think we were supposed to, it's supposed to read sailor.
And you have to play this RNG random, like, betting. Like, it's like this dice game with... Oh, the rules are in the manual. Just look it up in the manual.
Well, here you go. Let's see. I wonder if that's before or after. Oh my God, it's handwritten on the back page of the manual.
Oh, good.
Johnny, here's instructions on how to play the dice game. Good luck. And then the rest of it's like, boss, the player with the highest hand on first roll. Horse, player who wins the round. Winner, player that wins 2 rounds. I'm sorry. So wait, the horse is the player who wins a round, but then a winner is someone who wins 2 rounds. Come up, boss player calling opponent's hands, and then the hands in descending value, 5 of a kind, 4 of a kind, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I'm holding this up. I don't know how well you can see it, but it is like a full page of handwritten notes on how to play this dumb dice game.
And it's worth noting, so there's a couple real bullshit things about this dice game beyond the fact that you have to play it at all. One of which is that it directly prevents you from save scumming. It gives you what? I think 2 saves.
I think
Two
so.
warnings, I think.
Yeah, and then after that, it says like, all right, and not even the magic of Scum VM. It detects even if you save in Scum VM, like it wags its finger at you.
No control F5ing this one.
And so there is like you can't save scum it, and you have to play it like to absolute completion, I believe, twice.
Yes.
And which is long, and you have to everything that you're playing for, you have no immediate need for. So the things that you are playing for only become relevant considerably farther in the game. So it's not even that if you're playing the game for the first time and you're putting in a good faith effort, you're not playing with a hint book or walkthrough or whatever, like you have to just trust that you need these things, or you could just skip it. And the game lets you.
Yeah.
Because there's no why would you?
The game has some of maybe not the worst kind of soft locks or missable sort of like inventory items, but it has some pretty egregious, like just real punishing game design decisions in it, where it's like, oh, you missed this you decided not to play this random dice game for something you didn't know you needed. Well, sorry, you're it's 4 hours later and you're in big trouble.
There's like a way to do it if you don't get what you're supposed to get.
I believe so. I think it's in the scuba diving section that it catches
just
up with you.
Apparently extremely difficult if you don't have it. So there's this dice game, and then I don't know. What else is in there? What else is in the news in the game of Codename Iceman?
So you do the dice. At some point, your commanding officer falls down and hurts his bottom, and he goes to the infirmary. And then you kind of become the kind of like, even though I don't know why you would be in like the chain of command, you kind of become captain of the submarine.
There's a really beautiful little bit of prose there when the captain like falls
on his butt.
He falls on his bottom. There's this beautiful bit of prose there where it's just like the captain, like I don't have this written down, but it's something like, it's like, the captain is incapacitated. Now you are in control of the USS Blackhawk. All of the decisions that you make from this point on will be the decisions that determine the fate of the world. The world is in your hands. It's something like that. It's very like, it's very purple prose for a game that doesn't really indulge that much.
Yeah, when Jim Walls writes purple prose, it's just like, it just means he wrote like 2 sentences in a row. And it's
he used a couple of adjectives.
Yeah, but it stands out in a game like this when you look at something and it's like, that's a door. You know, when you get a little bit of a kind of writerly flourish like that, you're like, ooh, Jim.
It's a big door. It's like, oh, tell me more.
Yeah,
tell me more about the big door. Wow. Yeah, everybody had to pause on that.
Sorry, my internet fell over.
Well, that was a hilarious joke that I just made. Now I got you.
You got you.
There's a like beautiful moment there. There's also one of the most, like, unfortunately, like, because you just sit down at this submarine panel, like, or this cockpit seat for like 90% of the game, there's not a lot of interesting art or scenes, but there's this one really beautiful
Yeah.
tableau where you and the captain, right before he falls on his bottom and bleeds out, there's this beautiful scene rendered in 16 glorious colors. I counted 17, but whatever. Of you and the captain like looking at this like beautiful purple sunset. It's really, and
gorgeous.
this like there's music, like very dramatic music playing.
Yeah, the music in this game is genuinely, unironically, the music in this game is excellent. It's like moody, and obviously if you do the full, especially if you're playing
much of it.
Yeah.
There's a fair amount. I've listened to a lot of it. But if you do, especially if you're playing it now and you're doing like the full like MT32 emulation, like it's very elaborate, multi-layer tracks. They're very beautiful. It's out of nowhere. The game, frankly, does not deserve the music.
The game looks good in moments. Like that scene, the submarine scene is as nice looking as any Sierra scene ever made. Some of the Tahiti stuff looks good. Then it gets weird. Like when you get into the submarine, a lot of the interior, I mean, due to the limitation of the palette, kind of is in like Tinker Toy type colors, like, which I'd love to be on a submarine where everything is like lime green and turquoise and bright red. And
the submarine is also bafflingly spacious.
Bafflingly, yeah. You have like a vaulted ceiling in your quarters and a couch. I mean, we've laughed a lot about the couch, but yeah, you absolutely have like a large sectional sofa in your submarine cabin.
You have like a California King, like you have your own like bathroom, like ensuite bathroom in your very spacious quarters.
Yeah, it's probably like a water bed. I don't know that, but I would assume all beds on ships are water beds at some level.
Well, yeah.
You have
there's
coffee table
around.
You have a coffee table, and of course a photo of the submarine.
Of course.
Yeah,
so you don't forget where you are.
There's also just decorative plants is the other thing. Like they had to. I think my theory is that they were creating these scenes and kind of populating them with all the actual like the things you interact with in the game, and then someone was like, we made this too big and we're not going to redraw it, so just put a plant in that corner and a poster of the submarine over there. Like, let's just fill it in.
What I like also about the game is that, like, the submarine stuff is such a pain in the ass, but also it just makes sure to really be like frustrating to you in other ways too. Like, so there's the dice game that we mentioned, then also there's this like completely baffling, overly complicated copy protection sequence that like every time that, like, the time that we played it back in 2020 and then when you played it again, Jess, last year, like, it's this overly elaborate, and so we already said that there's this copy protection where you have to type in CPR controls, but this
part's miserable.
Like, you have to
Lord.
decode a code, like, and refer to the manual and then refer to like this code
cipher
in the thing, and then you have to like do it backwards, and like it's
with like a preface depending on who you're communicating with.
They're like, it's like LSAT logic puzzles. Like it's really, really tedious.
I mean, it doesn't serve as a fun puzzle or as particularly good copy protection. It's just laborious for no good reason.
Like, and because it is copy protection, a lot of walkthroughs kind of don't explain it because they don't want to get in trouble.
And I think it's to some degree randomized, right? Yeah, but they don't even explain like the mechanics of how you're supposed to solve it.
Like it's just very, it's just very needlessly complicated, as opposed to just saying like on the manual on page 5, what's the like paragraph 3. Like,
it's a ways into the game too. So like once you think like, oh, I've proven my legitimacy, my bona fides as an owner of this game, and you're like,
throw away my manual.
Yeah, I could throw it away. Don't even need to Xerox it at the library. And then it just hits you with it out of nowhere. Like, what? Even if in theory you were kind of like the one person on Earth who was like, "Oh, I'm getting it with this game. This game's clicking with me." It still kind of throws this kind of just this horrible copy protection at you.
I want to know, because like every game has someone, like there's always someone, like any game that you play, there are people out there. There are people out there that like Police Quest 4. Like there are people out there that like any fucking thing. You know, some people have fucking trash taste. I don't know what to tell you. But I don't Is there anyone
listening to this Codename Iceman
there
podcast?
Is there anyone out there that like played Codename Iceman? And I want to hear its reputation is pretty negative. I didn't think it was that bad. I'm saying liked 4 stars or above.
Wow.
4 or 5 stars. Now, I will note that I think Computer Gaming World did give it a positive.
You can definitely find contemporary reviewers, but like a lot of reviews of video games at that time, I think they were just happy to see something on screen. You know, they were like,
it was
wow.
like seeing colors and
they liked hearing sounds and shapes.
Yeah. Did it help that people who made these games put ads in those magazines? Maybe that helped too. Who knows?
Yeah. No, I mean, this is something I talk about a lot. Like when I've been at Disney with my daughter and like we get off of a really bad ride, like Figment's Journey into Imagination. And she's like, "Dad, that ride sucked." And I said, "Honey, that's somebody's favorite ride." And I'm going to say there is somebody out there who unironically loves Codename Iceman.
People are so like precious and picky about like Sierra games and their nostalgia for them. And people are very like, it's like, oh,
not us.
No, I'll kill your fucking sacred cow. But
wow.
I'm an internet badass. I'm coming for you.
Oh no,
Grayson really brings out an angrier side of you. I don't know what it is.
Watch out! I'm swinging. I'm coming out swinging.
Is this the scariest you've ever been on this podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Scary. pretty scary. But it's like there's got to be someone out there that's just like, and again, I want to be clear. You can't be someone that's saying it's not as bad as people say.
You also can't be Jim Walls. You can't be Jim Walls.
You can't be Jim Walls.
And you can't be his wife or loved ones.
You want an affirmative good game from somebody.
Yeah.
GG.
Well, hold on. Let's go to you know where we could find this.
The reference list on a Wikipedia page?
No. That's a useless place.
Grayson, could you add to the to the Codename Iceman Wikipedia entry that it's a cult classic?
It is.
I think it is. As far as I'm concerned.
All right. There's one place where you will always find a 5-star review for like absolute garbage video games, and that's
the GOG reviews,
and that would be good old games GOG.com. You will always find someone that gives like just like you'll see this adventure game and like be like, this game, like the puzzles suck and it's not fun to play and blah blah blah. And then like you'll see like 500 5-star reviews that are like, played it when I was 6. And here we go. See multiple 4 and 5-star reviews. So here they are. Like, this person says, what people fail to realize is that Iceman was made with the same mindset as some of the King's Quest series.
Oh,
that doesn't
that's a good
explain
point.
anything.
Yeah.
That doesn't explain a goddamn thing.
Well, I mean, like King's Quest, I think the goal was to sell copies of the game.
Okay.
Like putting it in boxes and selling those boxes in stores.
Hold on. This person who gave it 5 stars, if this is a long review.
And if you're a listener, we're sorry.
This person says, like many others, I never finished it either.
5 stars. Now, Ben, this is a question for you. So you're looking for somebody who played it, obviously, start to finish. How much? How much would like? Is there an amount of the game that someone could have played and liked, and you'd be like, and you'll accept that, or are you looking only for someone who start to finish beat the game?
Start to finish, beat the game, loved it.
Okay.
And there's one here. There's a review here that says a masterpiece. This feels like this person's funning me.
Oh yeah, that's no way.
This person's they're funning me. They're
no one would call this a masterpiece. Like, yeah, if you want to call this a good game, fine. Lots of people, as you said, have terrible opinions, but no one could consider this a masterpiece.
5 stars. Happy accident. Got it accidentally when I was 10 years old. I had asked for Monkey Island and got this instead.
Oh no!
Are you getting funded again? Are you getting funded again here?
Oh no, that is the biggest gap possible.
But that's that did happen. You got the wrong game.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that kid deserved Codename Iceman, and that's why they ended up with
this
it?
Kid
Santa might have made a call.
This person says that they beat it age 10. No walkthrough.
Liar.
It was tough, but managed to finish it without any help, cheats, or walkthrough. Still remember it as one of the best adventure games I have played.
I'd like to sit that person down in a room right now and see if they can finish Codename
I'd like to set
Iceman.
their parents down for letting them play a game where an adult has sex with another adult, and they were only 10 years old. Shameful.
It's true.
It's
that's just not okay.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. Well, I found I asked and answered. I have found people that would rate who claim that they have played it beginning to end. Imagine getting that. Imagine being a 10-year-old and your mom or dad comes home. Happy birthday. Ooh, Monkey Island? No, something even better.
It's 2 games in one. It's an adventure game and a submarine simulator.
Yeah, and a CPR learning experience.
Yeah, well,
it's edutainment.
Now, do we have anything else to say about Codename Iceman? Because I wanted to talk about this hot other game.
I have one more thing that we should talk about. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Tunisia, the last part of the game, because, I mean, on the one hand, I said some of the graphics looked okay in the game, like, Tahiti looks fine, so some of the other bits, but man, the wheels fall off once you get to Tunisia. It is just like a whole bunch of plain yellow buildings and nondescript rooms. I mean, it really does feel like it's almost like if you assume this game was made screen by screen in order, that they were simply running out of time and resources by the time you get to Tunisia.
Are ugly screens.
Very, very ugly.
What's really heartbreaking about the Tunisia segment is that, like, you get through all of this, like, the submarine stuff just gets harder and harder and harder and harder and harder. And I remember just thinking, like, well, the Tahiti stuff was fun, so we're going to be back to the normal adventure game stuff, and it's going to be
stuff again.
Really, like, that will be fun again. And then, like, the Tunisia stuff is just dull and ugly.
And it's still really fiddly. Like, you could still die in a bunch of ways. Like, it's constantly throwing like there's no walking around. There's no exploration. It's just doing very, very prescribed. Like, they were like Jess was saying, they needed to wrap this thing up. They were like, get this out the door.
Yeah. And it's such a shame too, because they did all the work to get the culture right.
Yeah.
And then just did such a disservice with the graphics. And I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, Sierra, in this era, they go to the Middle East / North Africa 3 times, right? They go to this, like, present day version, Tunisia and Codename Iceman. They go to the Middle Ages era, Middle East in Conquest of Camelot, and then, like, the fantasy version of it in Shapir in Quest for Glory. And boy, those other 2, I think, for a game made in 1989 or 1990, do a decent job.
They're trying. They're trying very hard, and I would say I haven't played Camelot. You just played Camelot, but, like, Shapir, they you could tell, like, Lori and Corey Cole, like, obviously always have nothing but affection for the areas that they base their Quest for Glory game.
Yeah. This one's not great. I mean, it could be much worse, but it's not great. It's not, I mean, but by
Doesn't
that
it
point,
have like Arabic in it that's just like squiggly lines?
We
Like,
investigated this one day
yes.
in our Discord, which is named after Codename Iceman. I think it was hard. It was hard to determine whether it was a real language, and if so, what language. But there is it doesn't look good. We'll say that. You don't look at it and go, "Oh, that's some faithfully recreated Arabic script or a script of any language of the region."
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a bad sign if people can't say definitively, yes, that is Arabic script.
Yeah.
Or a language even. Yes. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, maybe Jim Walls, if you're listening, let us know. He does speak 18 languages. It comes up a lot in his interviews. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, this section could be much better. I mean, yeah, this again, I mean, maybe a hallmark of the design here. But yeah, Codename Iceman is not a great game, right? I mean, I think I've reached a point of ironically appreciating it, but I could not ever say it's a good game. Would I play it again? Not anytime soon. It certainly wouldn't be a game I would play for enjoyment. Like, it's kind of fun to stream because it's so bad and everyone can have a big laugh about how bad it is. And I can like do silly little, like, I'm pulling out my hair kind of moments and things like that. And we can all have a good time together. But no, I like sit down to play this because I'm in the mood to play a video game. Absolutely not.
Would you say it's so bad it's good?
No.
You wouldn't even like on the Flophouse podcast scale where they have like good bad movie, bad movie, or a movie you kind of like. You would say this is bad. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, I would say like the Tahiti section for me is maybe
that's good
so bad it's good. Yeah, it's good bad. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't mind that. Like it's as charming as some of the lesser Leisure Suit Larrys, you know, or something like that. It's fine. It's whatever. But after that, no, I don't think it would be, if it were easy and breezy, it could get away with being bad. But I think that very difficult and bad is a tough combo to pull off. Like, no one would be playing Dark Souls if it wasn't fun, right? If it was just very difficult. This is the Dark Souls of Sierra games.
Grayson, what do you say? Do you say it's a good bad, or that you kind of liked?
I mean, so
chaotic neutral.
Because here's the thing, I think bad, because we played it on our stream, Ben, years ago, and then I just had negative memories of that. Just bad time in my life. And then when Jess played it, which we were playing in anticipation of a hot game release, I think what you forget about if you've been away for a little while is just how much of the game is staring at these just awful submarine simulation screens. If you could, like the end of the game lets you skip the van chase. If you could kind of skip your way through all the submarine shit, maybe you could get there on. But then the Tunisia part is just such a nothing.
We didn't even talk about the lathe.
Oh, we didn't even talk. And then there's there's
yeah, no.
We didn't even talk about that. I would say this is one of the most Jim Wallsy parts of the game where you have to replace like a roller that a nuclear missile is on, like a torpedo. And you have to like manually go through the submarine tool shop
and like adjust some gaskets.
Like adjust like every little step, like it's like you pick up a cylindrical rod,
you have
adjust
to put a washer on a nut.
Oh my god,
the 1/2 inch washer, not the 1 inch washer. Don't grab that one. And it is.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's bad. It's bad all around. But you know, Grayson, you kind of found the game kind of inspiring.
That's yes. I don't know what like. I am, as far as I know, the only person on Earth to have created any original fan game related to Codename Iceman much less one as I made that purports to be the first, perhaps only, fan-made prequel to Codename Iceman called Codename Iceboy. A name and an idea that I believe was birthed in a side chat we had years ago, Ben, where we were talking about, I guess, wouldn't it be funny if there was a game starring a 10-year-old John Westland? And we said, yes, that would be funny. And then like 4 years later, I was like, that's still funny. I will make that game.
Just one of those things that just kind of burrowed into your brain.
At the time, I thought it was a very funny idea, and I wrote like a little game outline. This was COVID era, so everyone, I was like,
we were all doing.
Yeah, you were writing down anything that you were like, oh, this could occupy some time.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah. But eventually I dug that up and I said, this is still a funny idea and I'd still like to make it. And now it's taking time that I could use to be out in the real world, but I'm going to do it anyway.
And what's the plot of Codename Iceboy? It's a prequel?
It is a prequel starring a young 10-year-old boy named JW on his way to submarine camp. Not submarine school. You go to submarine school as an adult. This happens in Codename Iceman. John Westland goes to submarine school. JW goes to submarine camp. It's a camp for patriotic young Americans to learn about life on a Navy submarine. And mishaps and mischief go down there, and JW stumbles on a plot perhaps against America itself.
One of my favorite things was it had a very good reception. It escaped containment, I would say. Like it was, because I was like, oh, it was played on Jess's stream, and there's like the kind of like the people in like our kind, like that follow our streams or are in our Discord or listen to this pod, like this kind of group. But then like getting to see people who had absolutely no context for all of our various discussions about Codename Iceman for the last 5 years since we played it.
I think you're a friend of the pod, Richard Cobbett, right?
Yep.
He very, 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 very kindly said some nice things about it, and he called it, I think, the most elaborate shit post he's ever seen, which is, I mean, obviously we are, or certainly I was obsessed with Codename Iceman, and I made it for all of us to enjoy in our little streaming circle. So the idea that anybody else who is also kind of aware of these games would enjoy it is very flattering, and so it was good to see a little bit of good to see a few other people enjoy it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't want to grease you up too much here, but it is legitimately in contention for my game of the year last year. Like, I think I had more just straight out fun playing Codename Iceboy than I did just about anything else I picked up the whole year. And I would say that even if a friend hadn't been the one to make it, it was just even more of a joy to know that it was you behind it. Also, literally, I can't think of anyone else on the planet that could possibly be behind it. So I like that part.
I mean, that was we are so obsessed with this weird game, which again, maybe this is we all just gave it a solid bad across the board, but
none of us would recommend the game
to anyone. If someone said I like bad games, it would not be on my list.
I would say do not play it. I would say but there were still, I guess, just thoughts I had to exercise about this game, just get things out of my head and into the real world in some way.
Why is that? I guess we kind of answered it in the previous hour and 15 minutes, but really,
Stockholm Syndrome.
Why is it so sticky? Why Codename Iceman?
I think so. I guess I won't like beat around the bush that there is a lot of stuff that is fun to make fun of the game about. Like, we talk about this lathe sequence of Codename Iceman, which is it's just a insane thing to put into a video game.
It's like the box factory in The Simpsons.
So there's a lot of fun of just making jokes about things that I think are very, very funny about the game. But there is, and not to get too highfalutin about this, but there is, I think, a real fondness I have for Jim Walls as an auteur, where he is just this singular guy no one would make a game. No one could make it like will ever be in his position again. No one. Like the games industry is too well developed. You wouldn't bring ex, you know, Call of Duty guys are Call of Duty. The Call of Duty guys just work with the CIA and the military now, right? They're not gonna call up an ex-cop friend that somebody has.
Ken
right?
Williams, like Jim Walls's wife, was Ken Williams' hairdresser, and that's how they met. It's like the woman who does my hair, her husband's an ex-cop. Why don't I give him a job making AAA adventure games?
Like and
they were AAA for the time. They were big. Yeah, these were big releases.
Like it's a big, handsome box that Jess has. And like, I think, to go along with what Grayson was saying, like Grayson and I, and some of our friends, we watch every week a bad movie. We're bad movie freaks. And like there are certain qualities that make a movie that is like not very good a lot more compelling and interesting and stick to your brain and stick to your ribs more than like you'll watch, like sometimes you'll just watch something and be like, oh, this just kind of sucks. And I think the main thing that it is like that, as Grayson said, is like you get a full sense in his 4 games at Sierra. You get a real sense of Jim Walls as a person, of his worldview, of how he views policing, of
him as a game designer. Like he has these are very earnest attempts at what he thinks are compelling about video games.
There is a sincere human touch, like in Codename Iceman and in his Police Quest games. Like you feel like an absolute like sincerity. You feel like genuine humanity in these games. And do I like them? No, I don't enjoy them. I don't have fun playing them.
Do not play them.
No, there are lots of problematic elements in every single one of them.
But like there's such a novelty to play a game that has like such a budget, that has such a level of gloss, like, and that is so straightforwardly bad. It's like, sure, you could play like a Kojima game and you could be like, ah ha ha, like Kojima, like he has his things, but you'll only play 4 Sierra Jim Walls games.
I mean, I think
he's the Kojima of Sierra.
That's what people have been saying that for years. I love this one in the sense that it's so ambitious in conceptualization, and I feel like so ultimately unambitious in execution. It's just like it is shooting for the stars, and it's like it just gets bored with itself halfway through.
It is funny that like you just also don't see games go to market with this that are this big of a failure, right? Where it's like there's too many quality control / you'll just get laid off before the game is released, right? Like this was put out in the world in a box. You have a box for this, Jess. Like
it has an embossed logo on it.
Yeah.
Like that's not even like flat. This is bumpy.
In big letters, doesn't it say like by Jim Walls? Like this is also why we keep bringing him up.
It's got a little picture of him on it.
It has big letters, Jim Walls.
He's on there as a selling point
of this game. Yeah, I mean, like you buy this game because you like Jim Walls and you've enjoyed his other games so much. You want to see what he can do with a ding dang submarine.
I mean, honestly, does even Roberta Williams get that treatment? I'm like I can't think of it. Like in the first Laura Bow would be the like Laura Bow, the Colonel's Bequest. Does it say like let's see here. Let me pull.
I'm looking at the box for King's Quest 4, which would have been the closest analog to Codename Iceman as far as packaging Roberta Williams on the corner. Now, this is great audio right now.
Yeah.
On the corner of this box, there's just like a small purple ribbon that in script says by Roberta Williams. But I mean, it is a tiny little font down there in the corner. Jim Walls is like a selling point of Codename Iceman.
If you look up the Colonel's Bequest, she does get like both of these games, like and maybe this was something the marketing department was thinking through. Both of these games have like kind of mass paperback style cover art, because like the Codename Iceman is kind of a John Grisham looking cover, and the Colonel's Bequest looks like kind of a paperback mystery novel, and it has Roberta Williams in big text at the bottom in a similar way, like as if she is the author of this interesting book.
But I think Jim Walls really, like, not to dwell on a game like Police Quest 4, which is very ugly, but like again, Codename Iceboy is obviously like kind of a parody. It's having a lot of fun with it, but I couldn't do that with something as kind of ugly and simple as Police Quest 4, whereas Iceman has like an author to interrogate a little bit. Like I can I can actually have a lot of fun kind of putting myself in the shoes of this imaginary prequel to Codename Iceman, where I'm like, oh, there's an actual like world in here to play around with, right? And like Jim Walls was a real guy who was making these games with, like Ben saying, like an actual worldview and perspective and a kind of game design sensibility that, again, does not make for very compelling video games. But
it's fascinating all the same.
It is this whole little world that he fleshed out in 4 games, which is like a weird and very, I think, kind of historically singular achievement. Which sounds weird for a game we have, again, do not recommend you play it, but I would kind of call it an achievement.
All right. Well, anything else or before I close the book?
It's kind of like when Time magazine names its man of the year, but it's not a good thing. Like,
yeah, it's like you. That's bullshit.
Oh, like, we're not putting this on the wall. Yeah, this is not getting changed.
Yeah, I mean, we're saying how important and like singularly, evocative this game is, while at the same time saying it's not the kind of game you want to play with your hands and eyes and ears and things. But
no, absolutely
just trust us when we say this is
play Codename Iceboy instead.
That's right. I mean, absolutely go play Codename Iceboy. It is available on Steam. If you want the deluxe version, that is $79.99.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is it's on itch, correct?
It is on itch.io. And it is. I wouldn't want to risk the wrath of. I reuse a lot of assets from the original game.
Mixed Up Fairy Tales.
And from Mixed Up Fairy Tales.
Do you think someone owns Codename Iceman now?
No, I think Microsoft. It's in the public domain, and the public domain refused it. They said we don't even want this either. So no one owns it. It's a
stateless.
It's Scheinhart Wig.
You can go to, I think it's graysond.itch.io, or you know what? I think anybody who's trying to look something up they heard about it on a podcast, you should just Google Codename Iceboy.
Well, there you have it. Thank you so much once again, Grayson,
our guest.
That's me,
special guest
for regular guest.
Yes, this week. A lot of fun to talk to you. Maybe we'll have you back when we talk more about Jim Walls.
Yeah, I'll be back with Jim Walls' wife, Jimina.
Do you have any plugs?
Any plugs? How do you plug your stream, Ben? How do you plug your stream?
PS_Garrick.
We make a 75-minute podcast every week.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna say
90 this week.
Pretend I plugged it how Ben normally would, but a little bit better.
Great. I love it. You can catch him there on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on PS_Garrick on Twitch when we do Adventure Tuesday. Jess, when do you stream?
I stream on Wednesday nights for Retro Adventure Wednesday at Decaf Jedi.
Cool. And, please rate and review. Helps people find this. You can send us an email at questquestpodcast@gmail.com. And you can join us next week on Quest, the Adventure Game Podcast, when we discuss Codename Iceman again.
What?
Again? One more time.